Premee Mohamed here, author of recent novel Beneath the Rising, which came out in March from Solaris Books. I'm a scientist and an author, and I work for my local government. And in my spare time, I write sci-fi, fantasy, horror, I guess what they call slipstream now, weird, cosmic horror, whatever comes to mind really. I just smash it all into the same thing. And today I would like to read from a piece that I've recorded before, but it was one of those live readings, and I don't think it turned out as well as I had been hoping. And this is called A Guide to Burying the Old Man When No One Else Will. The first thing to consider is the manner of death. And the second, related, is how dead he is. Sufficiently dead to proceed to the next steps? You may insist death does not exist on a spectrum, but we have all been the gendarme in the hallway, about to burst in upon the murderer, shrieking and sobbing and swearing that he can absolutely hear, the beating of that hideous heart. In that case, I would say, with a fair amount of confidence, not dead enough to go on. Moreover, there are concerns of personal safety. We heroes have all been stabbed by a definitive corpse whom we have just eviscerated or exsanguinated or expraginated, which is to say emptied the contents of the skull. Or had a hidden vial of acid flung at us with one last burst of strength, or been catapulted across a layer by a spell whispered with the final breath. In most cases, allow me to sum up, even if death seems certain, even if we are somehow, impossibly, ankle deep in blood. So much blood. I never believed the old man's got so much in him till afterwards. Sit. Wait. Yes, find somewhere to sit and wait in the silence. Open your last rations of bread and cheese, scrape off the mold, wash away the taste with the blood-hot contents of the flask you secreted inside your shirt. The ethereal maiden, all lapis and silver, who gave you this precious relic while you blundered lost in the forest of dreams, claimed it contained a magical restorative. Drink it, even though it will almost always turn out to be home-brewed plum brandy. Do not drink it all. First of all, you may go blind, and secondly, you will want a little to wash your fingers or prime a torch later on. You are, in the silence, listening for a feigned death rattle and a held breath, for the shifting of the tons of masonry that pinion the lower half of your foe, the trickling sound of small stones before the full mass begins to rise into the air, for the whisper of vermin fleeing the symbol-stitched robe, seeking warmth and fresher victuals. In half an hour or so, get up and check for a pulse. You may feel, and I would say you should be permitted to feel, a little stab of disgust and pity, but do not mistake it for sympathy. That the wrist is always so bony, that the skin becomes blue so quickly, that you stoop over a pewter statue left out in the rain. It's not natural. In battle, you've seen the corpses of friends, foes, and lovers after a full day of fighting still rosy and pink, so that you are deceived, so that you chafe their cold hands between yours as you weep. Well, there must be, and we've seen this enough, something in these old men, these wizards and sorcerers, necromancers and alchemists, that corrupts them from the inside. At any rate, press hard upon the papery skin, press till the bones creak. Do not give him a chance to dissemble. If he be truly dead, then free him from the store or spear tip or sword or net, retrieve what is yours, put up your blades, and make a note to clean them later. If you are in a tower, it is now ripe to fall, as you know. There have been so very many old men. There have been so very many desperate people who have paid you to find and kill them. Try not to think about it. We are heroes, and this is what we do. Lift with your legs. Though the old men are skinny, they are always heavier than they look, and furthermore, I recommend lashing the body to your shoulders if there are steps. You were there when we saved the day at Fossa Nova, when I carried the immense mass of St. Thomas's corpse down the circular staircase, grunting and dripping in silence. This will be much easier, though of course you will not be lauded for it, only paid the other half of the gold you are owed. Outside, unstrap the body, make sure to relish the fresh air, roll your shoulders, look up at the starry vault. Do not ask yourself why the final battle always happens at night, by the dirty glow of magical torches or of human skulls filled with pine resin. If there are any of the latter outside, consider expropriating a few. They work very well to keep off biting insects. Prepare the body, and be gentle. He was your foe, and a man is measured by the worth of his foe, even if that worth is no more than the small change gathered from a mountain village, and he was an old man. With respect, you must bury him. Ensure the depth of the interment is at least 8 feet, though deeper is always better. If you have devices of iron, they are to be used now. Attach the wrists to their opposite shoulders, drop the knees, and sink nails to join the ankles. Iron must be placed also within the mouth. Do not worry about coins for the eyes. Where he is going, he will receive a ride entirely gratis, and the townsfolk will not reimburse you anyway. When the excavation is filled, the earth must be thoroughly tamped down. If your horse lives, I recommend attaching a long line and having it pace a dozen laps over the relevant spot. Do not mount, we are cursed enough already. If there is spare, and of suitable size, consider covering the grave with stones, but do not heap them. Of heroes, it is said that we will rot in an unmarked grave, and we often do, which I suppose makes it more of an observation than a saying. You have lost many without remark, and have seen, too, the gibbeted remnants of friends with nothing more than their supposed offense to single them out. Thief, they say, and traitor. None of that here. The stones are to prevent fell things, and are the only marker the old man would have wished, but they should not be a cairn. Now that the burial is complete, say nothing that would attract psychopomps or demons, and resist the urge to return to the tower to loot any items. You know from experience that it never ends well. Or perhaps I'm being cruel, and it does end well. For it is a chance, as you stand in the darkened doorway, 1 foot up, like a cat, thinking, to give up the rainy nights on the road, to sleep well under a sturdy roof, to read the many books in the library. It is just that, before you know it, you have yourself become the old man, whom some golden-curled knight will come to slay, and you will be buried in what he is unaware is a cemetery of them. Of us, I should say. Keep this scroll upon you, at any rate. Hoofbeats approach with a gladness, and the night draws on, and perhaps you or I will be the first old man he needs to bury. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it, and if people want to find out more about me, my website is premeemohamed.com, and I am also on Twitter at Premee.